right. Oh,
Put your phone away.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, guys. Hey, welcome everybody. I am so excited. We are really this group, man. I can feel the energy. There's just so much quantum energy just transferring right now through the screen. It's just amazing, man. It is truly amazing. This is something that we really, until you experience it, man, like it's almost amazing that have you ever sat in one of those chairs where you sit down and you get like this back massage with all these things like just energizing your whole back and circulating? That's the energy that we're feeling here, because there's just people from all over. Four corners of the earth now. We're four corners of the earth here. We're broadcasting. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. Samuel is in Miami, Florida, and we are broadcasting really simultaneously, man. So it's so awesome. Different time zones. It's cool. It's great. So here's what we're going to do, Samuel. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and mute. Just mute, just in case there's any background noise. Just kind of take care of some small little housekeeping rules. Let's see. All right, so we'll do that, and then Samuel, I want to. Okay. All right, Samuel, you are unmuted. All right, cool.
There we go.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, so now I am. Okay, so you have Samuel and Joe, the 1K per day, and that's really the feature. And what we really want to focus here is we're going to kind of go through these one by one. The first topic that we really wanted to hit with you guys, because we're so excited. I've been doing this now for a few months, several months, Samuel, but I've been in the affiliate space. I've been doing online marketing, for years. And prior to meeting up with the Millionaire Mentoring Group and Black Ops Underground Marketing, wasn't really getting the success, wasn't seeing the success that I was hearing about. You know how you always hear, until I discovered that 97% of people that are marketing online are just not making any money. And like 0.1% are making an average of $400 per month. So that was me, I'm like, why, what am I not doing right? What's not working? And that was, when I met up with this awesome Millionaire Mentoring Group that I had heard about from recommendation from somebody that I had met online, and just said, this is what I needed, and kind of surrendered my pride, surrendered my ego, and said, I want to learn. And all of a sudden, I just started applying the things that I was learning, watching training videos, and bam, started seeing $1,000 days and $8,000 a week and $3,000 days. And man, it was amazing, And Samuel, same thing, man. Kind of tell us, you've been in, you've been doing some online marketing, but how you were finding, what was your frustrations?
Well, I'm pretty sure most people on here, even though people watching the recording, can relate with me when I said, I've spent the last 2 years trying to figure things out on my own, right? Not wanting to get a mentor, being too stubborn to actually ask for help. And it took me going homeless with my family and actually feeling the fear of not knowing what's going to happen the next day, not knowing if I'm going to have food on the table the next day, to finally look for help, right? So after I finally got a mentor and got help, first 3 weeks, I'm on week number 4. My first 3 weeks, I already made over $20,000. Now this week, by the way, I'm gonna probably end it at $30,000, hopefully by tomorrow, right? And my life has changed because I used to make $2,000 a month as a factory worker, right? So it's a huge freaking difference. Like, I look at Robert smiling. The Robert's like, I know that feeling, man. It's a huge difference, right? So, and the biggest advice I can give people, like what changed my life, was get a mentor. I was get a mentor, surrender, get a mentor, get some help, get someone who can actually show you what they're doing. They can share your screen kind of like we are right now, show you exactly what they're doing. So that way you don't have to figure it out. That way you don't have to, look at their page and say, I think I know what they're doing, and not be sure of it. So that's what's changed my life, man. That's what's got me to where I've got. It's 1K per day, as you see there, right? Just getting a mentor, just getting some help.
That's awesome, man. That's it. So guys, gals, are you ready? Are you ready? Get your pens, get your paper, start taking notes. And the first thing that we're going to really hit on is why selling with features and benefits doesn't work. And that is the way I was taught. I used to be a car salesman. I used to sell BMWs, Mercedes, Lexus, and that's the way I would pitch. I would just go into customers, you try to build a relationship with people, but really it was talking about all the benefits of this car, all the features that the car had, right? The mentality of features and benefits. But guess what, guys? What does features and benefits do? What part of the brain, and this is fascinating, what part of the brain do you think you are targeting when you talk about features and benefits? Do you think you're targeting the frontal cortex of the brain, or do you think you're targeting what's called the limbic part of the brain? Now, this is some facts here, but it actually proves true. There's a guy by the name of Simon Sinek, and Simon Sinek, if you've ever gone to any of his YouTube videos, has done something amazing that has the brain broken up into different sections where most of the facts target the frontal cortex. People don't care about facts, right? Did you ever hear the saying, facts tell, but stories sell, right? So when we're talking to people, if we're just hitting them with features and benefits, like what your product does and how long your company's been around, like companies like that, right? Where people, all they want to say is, oh man, my company is the best. It's been around for 30, 40 years. And we got the product, man, the best product. It can do all these different features. People tune out, man. There's something that I learned a long time ago that says that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that was the difference. So when I was trying to sell cars, I didn't really care about people. What were they looking for? All I wanted to talk about was, man, the horsepower this thing had and all the different comfort features and settings and everything. So that's where a lot of people come from. And we bring that into online marketing. And especially in social media, that's the last thing we want to do. In fact, there's a little study that was done. It says the limbic system is where we process feelings and emotions. It is in the limbic system that we actually make our decisions, guys. We think we're making our decisions rationally, but really we're making them based on how we feel, our emotions, right? Our hunches, our intuitions, and then we use our cerebral cortex, the facts and figures part of our brain, to rationalize our decisions after they are made, guys. So it's because we make decisions in our limbic, which is right in the center, that decisions feel right or feel like what we want. So the next time you're having a conversation with somebody, what do you want to be talking about? See, what is it that people really care about? And, I always try to listen, because one of the things that happens is when you do most of the talking, guess what? You're selling yourself out of a deal. You're selling yourself out of a potential relationship where somebody, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And one of the things I had to learn is to zip this and open up both of these, right? God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. And that's how we need to use it in that proportion. And one of the things that really made sense to me is it's a physiological fact that people make decisions on how they feel. Did you ever notice when people just, it just doesn't feel right, man? I don't know. Just something about it, I hear what you're saying. I see the numbers and how you, it's like the potential, but something just doesn't feel right. Why do you think that they say that? Because maybe they weren't talked to from the feeling part of the brain. They were just talked to from the cortex part of the brain, and that's the problem. So with that change, that little tiny, shift, if you just tweak where you're directing your conversation to, what do you think people are going to do? People are going to say, man, this person really cares about me, because they're asking me questions about what is concerning me. So the way we do this, the way we teach you, is how not to do the things that aren't working and start doing the things and using the conversation tools that are working, because that's what gets results. I mean, you look at guys that make $1,000 a day, $10,000 a week, $50,000 a month using the same skills. They just get better at it. And the more you use it, the better you're going to get. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be a pro day one, day two. It might even take you a couple of weeks, a few weeks, but you will start seeing the changes, man. And you'll start seeing you're attracting people that you could never attract before. Does that make sense? Samuel, does that make sense, man?
Yep, 100%. Something I found to add to that is that a lot of people, they're taught online. It's not their fault. They're taught by their companies to, hit up all your friends and family and talk about features and benefits, because they're gonna fall in love with the product because X, Y, and Z. But all that does is push people away. There's actually just so you guys know, there's a magnet inside our bodies. It's called a polarity. The polarity of the magnets, that whenever you're trying to sell someone on something, on features and benefits, and oh, my company is groundbreaking, whatever, what you're actually doing is that you're pushing them farther away from you, right? You're making them feel, first off, you're invading into their space, right? You're going to be like an invader, and they're not, even though maybe your product is something that can truly help them, they're still not going to want it because you've already pushed them away, right? So if you can't talk about, there's two golden rules, which I think you were about to cover, Joseph. The two golden rules is, one, never talk about your product. Two, never talk about your company. So what's the only thing you can talk about then? Them. They don't care about your product. They don't care what company you have. What they do care about is whether you have a solution to the problems that they're having in their life or not, right? I can literally, like, I use this extreme example a lot. I could have been selling tampons, but as long as I presented as a solution to a problem someone has been having, I would have still made $10,000. Right? Because the money comes when you provide solutions, not when you sell features and benefits and say, oh, my company is the best out there. The compensation plan is the best out there. No one cares about that. People who've never seen your company before, they don't care about that stuff. They just care about whether you have a solution for them or not. Right? So that's what I would add to that. It's been the greatest thing for me. So also, since I came from, before I used to do the online marketing the right way, right? I used to actually pressure people. I used to do big ticket sales with high pressure. And I used to tell them, you have to be a part of this, man. This is groundbreaking. You have to be a part of this, right? Tell me you're going to be a part of this. And all that would do is push people away, right? To the point where my posts used to get no engagement on Facebook. No one used to respond to me anymore. No one liked talking with me anymore, right? Because I just became a walking advertisement, right? And because I became that, I just kept pushing people away, and my business was getting nowhere. For some reason, I kept asking myself, what am I doing wrong? That I'm not, why am I not getting the $10,000 a month? And when I'm trying to do all the right things, and that's why I never made $10,000 a month before now, right? Because I kept on trying to pitch and pitch and pitch and close and pitch and close. When all of that doesn't matter, what matters is the relationship that you build with people, right?
That's it.
That's what matters. That's where the money is.
That's it, man. That's it. In fact, there's something that was interesting. There was a company that was used, Apple Computers, and one of the things about Apple that made it such an influential company, Apple is the biggest influencer, because what it did is it created an entire community of believers, people who believe what Steve Jobs believed. I mean, come on. Jobs believed a certain way in the way he thought, and he wanted people to believe the way he believed. So what we are doing is really getting people to believe the way we believe. If you believe the way I believe, then you're going to think and feel the way I feel. You're just going to follow me, right? And that's what we want, is we want people to follow us because they are like us. People like doing business with people that are like them. People, when you hang out with people, you like people because they like the same things you like. They share the same common interests and the same common beliefs. And there's something that I wanted to share that I thought was interesting. It says, to influence decision making, you need to speak into a person's limbic system, which is what we already talked about. It says your core proposition, your 7 words or less, creates an emotional resonance. Notice, it creates an emotional resonance because it speaks into your limbic system. Interesting. When your core proposition resonates, that's the key. It has to resonate with somebody emotionally. They feel something in here going on, not something in here. We're affecting them emotionally, right? It says they will align with you. Notice, they align themselves with you because they believe what you believe. Your core proposition is an expression of the cause you are committed to. And that's when they use the case of Apple. You change the game in everything we do. So what we have is a game changer, guys. What we teach is a game changer. Nobody, I've been on Facebook for probably 8 years. I've never met anybody. I've never been with anybody. I've never seen these things that has literally changed the game, right? People are getting results that they've never gotten with anything else. They've tried everything and they've never gotten results. And all of a sudden, they're using something that is attracting, and they become the attractor factor because it's a game changer. People are getting results. When you get results, not just once or twice, but over and over and over, people are gonna be like, wow, what is he doing? How is he doing it? What's the key? Guess what, guys? We're sharing that with you right now. We're telling you the key, the principles that really make the difference. Now, we wanted to kind of jump into not just the emotional part, but now what do we talk about with prospects, with people on social media? Like, how do we actually converse with them? And Samuel's going to kind of help us, something called FORM. Samuel, give us a hint of what that does, how it affects.
All right, awesome. I had to unmute myself there. So basically, guys, what I'm going to be covering here, I'm actually going to also share my screen in a bit, and I'm going to get into a live conversation so you can actually, I feel like it's better that you actually see me do it rather than just talk about it. So before I get into that, FORM is short for family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. Form. When you first talk to someone, even if they ask you for more information about your business, you never, the amateurs are the ones who just send them a link and say, hey, go here and watch this, right? To be a professional, first you want to build rapport, actual rapport. Hey, what's happening in your life right now, right? So the way you do that is by following form. Now, when I first open up to someone, I can start with either one. I can start with family. I can start with occupation. Hey, what's happening in your business right now? How's everything going? Or hey, how's everything going with the family right now? Right? It's just to build some rapport, because now I'm not just a salesperson anymore. I'm not just a regular network marketer. Now I'm actually a friend. Right? I'm reaching out as a friend, and people like to do business with people that they know, like, or trust. And most of us, we like and we trust our close friends. Right? So this helps bring down someone's guard. When you just send a webinar or you just send a link to someone, most of the time you're pushing them away because they know that in the back of their mind, they're not going to tell you, but they know in the back of their mind that you're trying to sell them something at the end, right? And they're going to keep that in the back of their mind. That's going to be the game changer. That's either going to push them away or just stop talking to you, right? So what I'm going to do, just so you guys can actually see this live, you have to allow me to share my screen, Joseph.
Yep.
Let's do some live recruiting, guys. Who's excited for some live recruiting? Who wants to see me do some live recruiting right now? I love doing it. I love doing it like this just because it's very easy to talk about these things, but it's even easier to actually do them. So I want to actually do them in front of you so you can see that there's no giant secret behind it. It's just very basic concepts that if you were to master them, you would make as much money as you want, because we're in a people business. We're in a people business. So the number one skill that you have to develop is people skills, communication skills, right? And that's what we learned in Millionaire Mentoring. You have to allow me to share my screen, Joseph.
There you go.
Sweet. Wait, does it let me?
It should. Hold on. Let me. All right, try it now.
Go to participants on the right and just right click my name. And I think it says like allow share.
There it is.
Sweet. I've been needing to do some live recruiting for a while now, since I've been kind of lazy yesterday. So you know what? Now I can kill two birds with one stone. Get some work done and show you guys how it's done live. All right, there we go. All right, sweet. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, everyone. Give me a thumbs up. All right, sweet. So when it comes to live recruiting, when it comes to bringing anyone into your business, right, you always want to start with your warm audience first. for me, that's like a law. I always start with my warm audience. And my warm audience are people that either like or commented on my post or on my Facebook lives, right? Because they already know who I am, right? When it's easier to talk to someone who already knows who you are, right? Because you're not just a stranger anymore. So step number one, what I always do is I go through any post or go through any of my lives and say, I'm gonna go through one of these posts down here. Let's say right here, right? So far I have 39 likes. So what I would do is I would click on those likes. Now I have 39 people who already know who I am, right? And I can just have a conversation with, have a friendly conversation with, and not sell anything, because the whole point, your mindset is, if your mindset is just about making the money, you're gonna naturally push people away from you, right? Your mindset has to be that of building a relationship. So let's say I'm gonna reach out to someone I've never seen before. I think Hector, I don't think I've ever spoken to Hector before. No, I think I have. Let's talk to someone I haven't spoken to before so you guys can see a live example here. I don't think I've spoken to Camille Brown. There we go, Camille Brown. All right. So step number one, when recruiting someone into your business, right, you have to start with rapport, which the way you do that is by form, family, occupation, motivation, recreation. So what I'm going to say is, hey, Camelia, thanks a ton for liking my post. I always try to do at least 3 universal deposits per day. How are you doing today? Right, and that's it. Something as simple as that, because now what I'm going to talk about when Camelia, it'll be kind of weird if Camelia is on this Zoom meeting, right? That'll be really strange. That'll be so awkward. But when she responds back to this, right, I'm not going to talk about my business and, oh, there's something you should really watch, right? No. When she's going to respond back, she's a reflector. Human beings were mirrors. We mirror each other. So she's probably going to ask me, hey, Sam, no problem. I'm doing pretty good today. How about you? Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I've been spending time with my family today. I took my sister on. I barely have any time to spend with my sister sometimes. So it really means a lot to me when I can spend time with her. How about you? Have you spent time with your family today? Right? And I'm just talking about her. I'm just talking about what she's doing today. Right? Because then when she's gonna, I'm showing my vulnerable self to her. She's gonna be vulnerable towards me and show me what her situation was with her family. And then I can move on with my conversation. And it all leads up to eventually recruiting her in my business. Let me try getting someone, you know what? Let me just go to my messenger. Let's give you guys a peek inside then. This messenger gets pretty crazy. All right. Can you guys see my messenger? Can everyone see this? All right, sweet. So what I'm gonna do is let me find a recent example of a conversation I had. It'll be awesome. Let's say right here, I just added someone right here, Isabella. All right. Let's say, all right, this is someone I literally just added. So I know that if, God forbid, if I talk about my business right now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna push her away from me. She's probably never gonna want to do anything with me ever. Like, she's not gonna want to look at my Facebook lives. She's gonna think I'm unprofessional, right? So what I'm gonna do is, number one, I want to build rapport. So, hey Isabella, I saw that we just added each other, but never talked before. Pretty awkward. LOL. How are you today? And that's it. I'm just opening a friendly conversation, because at the end of the day, even if this does not lead to me recruiting someone, my objective is not just to make money, it's to build a relationship. Because now Isabella, after we finish talking, she might actually start watching my Facebook lives. She might share me with her team. She might want to interview me, or maybe I interview her. She might refer someone to me because of our relationship, right? Does that make sense, guys? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Right? This pretty much flips over recruiting on its head, because now instead of focusing on trying to make money, you focus on the relationship. And this, by the way, guys, just so you know, let me annotate right here. All of this is extremely casual, super casual. There's no pressure, right? I only have to talk to 20 to 25 people a day, extremely casually. And I just have to help one person a day to make $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day, just one person, right? So I don't have to, be high pressure and be desperate to recruit people. I just have to start conversation. Let me try starting another. I want to have a live conversation here, but it's kind of tough sometimes. Some people don't respond here. Nicole, Let's say Cody. Right. Hey, Cody, I saw that we just added each other, but never talked before. By the way, now you guys can steal my script here. Pretty awkward. LOL. How are you today? All right, let's see if someone responds back to me. I want to show you guys an example from yesterday that kind of puts everything into play when building rapport with someone. Let me see if I can find them here. All right, here, Gina. I think I opened up with the same script, right? Funny, you're in the MLM business, right? Right? Haha. I am not in MLM, but I love being surrounded by fellow network marketers. You are my type of people. Haha. Are you a part of this big old network marketing world? Right? Out of form, let's say if someone in the chat, what am I targeting here? Now I'm going to talk about her business now. What am I targeting? Occupation, right? I'm building rapport. Now this whole conversation, just so you know, is going to be about her. I'm not going to talk anything about myself, just about her. I want to ask her, how long has she been in business, right? How has she been doing in it? What motivated her to join an MLM? Right, I'm going to talk about her because all I'm looking for is maybe if she needs help, right, I'm going to provide a solution. And if she doesn't need help, let's say she's already making like $20,000 a month, I can interview her, right? It's always going to be a win-win, like with me and her. So are you a part of this big old network marketing world too? And that's it. And I'm super casual about this, right? Super casual. There's no pressure. My mindset is just, all right, I just want to build this relationship. So form is super important. If you skip rapport, if Gina asked me, you're in MLM business, and I would have just said, oh, yes, I am. I'm a part of this MLM. I'm a part of this fitness MLM, this travel MLM, and this is what I do. You know, my company is 1,000,000 years old, right? And we've been in the industry forever. You're going to push her away like that. Because now what Gina is going to do is she's going to pitch you back. And then that conversation gets nowhere. It literally gets nowhere. Right? You're just having a pitch battle. And that's not the industry. When we're in a leadership industry, we're in a relationship building industry, right? So it's like no one is awake right now. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. So I'm doing good, Sam. Yourself just joined Black Ops. And so that explains why we haven't talked before, about to be heading to the lake. So this guy is already a part of the business that I'm a part of. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to try building this relationship, because most likely Cody is going to reach out to me. Welcome to the team. He said he just joined it. Have you already started your training? Right? I want to start getting to know him. I want to ask, what did he do before Black Ops? What has he been learning? What have been the biggest breakthroughs in Black Ops that he's been having? Right? Because I want to build this relationship, because now Cody will probably start following my videos and my lives. Right? It's like, do you guys understand? Give me a thumbs up. Do you understand what I mean? That it's more about the money? Right? I'm always creating win-win situations for myself, where when I build a relationship with someone, I actually make more money by building these relationships than by not. Because sometimes I have people that reach out to me and they're already a part of my company, but they want to pay me extra for coaching, to give them personal one-on-one coaching. And it all developed because I built a relationship with them, right? Because they know that I can take them to a certain level, right? And they reached out to me for coaching. They pay me $500 for that coaching, and they're already inside of the company. So that's the importance of just building rapport with people, getting to know them, really finding out what's happening in their lives, because you make more money. And if anything I just said, by the way, if it sounds like if you're thinking, oh, Sam, that's it's not that simple or any of that, it really is that simple. Right, guys, I've made $24,000 in literally the last 30 days. So far, I've made $24,000. And it was just doing this, building relationships, building rapport, asking questions, and finding out if I can solve somebody's problem. And if I can't, then I'll connect them with someone who can, because the relationship is what matters to me, right? I know you've done well so far, right? So I'm just gonna tell him, have you already started your training? I'm gonna do a little woohoo. Awesome. You're going to be on quite the journey. What got you into Black Ops? right? I'm just nurturing this relationship. Who knows? This could turn into a coaching client. This could turn into an interview. This could turn into many things, right? So I'm just focused on this. I'm looking forward to it. So now he's going to be answering my questions. But I'm gonna stop sharing there. I think that alone was just so simple. Guys, raise your hand if that was brain dead simple. Like if that just looked so simple that you can, the moment you're out of this webinar, you can just start talking to people literally after this, right? That's all it takes when making money online. It's not about, you can be a part of the greatest company in the world and some people would still never join you. And it's not because of the company, it's because you kept trying to pitch them. You kept trying, you're too focused on the money, right? You need to focus on the relationship. You need to focus on actually trying to help them with their problems. And if you cannot help them, then connect them with someone else who can. Make them, maybe you can interview them. Maybe they're doing phenomenal, right? Let's say I'm gonna use someone as an example, Joseph. I know that Joseph is already a part of my company. I know that Joseph, has done very well, right? He's made like $40,000 in 3 months, right? He's a beast. So instead of trying to pitch him something, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, Joseph, can I interview you? Right? It would be an honor to interview you and get you on my face, or maybe get you more exposure, or let's do a webinar together. I hope I just blew some minds there because that's what we're doing here, right? The relationship developed into more than just trying to sell him something. Now I'm benefiting, he's benefiting. Now we're gathering people together and sharing value, right? That's the mindset you want to be in this industry as a leader. You're not a salesperson, you're not a saleswoman, you're a networker. You connect people, you're a leader, you share value. And that, if you can just do those last couple things I said, there's no reason why you shouldn't make $10,000 this month. Well, what 19? All right, next month. By the end of next month, there's no reason why you should not be making $10,000 a month as long as you focus on the relationship, right? So I hope that that covered enough for you guys. I'm on form. I kind of went into it. I'm so sorry.
That's perfect. That's awesome, man. Guys, this is really the magic of what we do, because it is real. It does work. It's just applying it. Again, one of the things that I always loved is when you take something that's valuable. Somebody said to me once, if I could sell you a house that is worth, $400,000, that's the market value of the house, but all you needed to come up with was $1,000. And I didn't have the $1,000 sitting in my bank account. What do you think I would do? I mean, that $400,000 house has so much value that it dwarfs into almost nothing the cost to own it. It's amazing when you break it down that way, but our minds view things based on how we view the universe, our perspective. Your perspective is what matters. If you change your perspective, you change your reality. That's quantum marketing. That's what we do. We change our perspective of what we used to believe about ourselves and our outcomes to now what is possible. So what is possible for you? Now, the next thing that I wanted to cover, and I know Samuel has already been showing you some of it here, is we're going to touch a little bit about what are success questions, because part of engaging in people and part of getting to ask them questions that are skewed in a more success direction as opposed to maybe more negative. And you'll see what I mean by the questions. And maybe, Samuel, why don't you unmute yourself? Because what I thought we'd do to make this part easier is if we just role play. I used to work for Tony Robbins. And it's funny, but I used to work for Tony Robbins. I was a senior tech advisor for Tony Robbins for a couple of years in one of his companies called Business Breakthroughs, BBI, Business Breakthroughs International. And that's when he had that series, that television reality show where he used to help people kind of break through their limitations and stuff. Anyhow, so he would do these syndicated radio ads during the drive times with CEOs, presidents, executives calling in, trying to get solutions to their problems. Again, he would create the pain that they had, and then they would call in thinking that they were going to be able to have Tony Robbins help them. And that's what he does. He helps people break through and figure out solutions. So one of the things that Tony Robbins would share with us is he would, every Monday, there was 6, 7, maybe 8 of us senior tech advisors would get on a call with Tony, and he would literally go through and role play. Like he'd say, okay, Samuel, okay, Joe, this is what I want to hear. I want to hear what is your pitch? Like, what do you talk about? Now, what Tony Robbins was doing with his company was one of the things he wrote. His script was a one-call close. Now that's not what we're doing, but it was interesting that that was his method. His application was to get people on the phone and basically in one call close them, make them make a decision, and give them such a huge incentive that they had to make a decision, yes or no today. Like I said about that house for $400,000, if I could make you a huge incentive today, it's today only. The house is a $400,000 house, but today only, you're going to be able to buy it for just $1,000. Tomorrow it goes back for $400,000. What would you do? Even if you knew you didn't have the $1,000, what would you do? Now we're going to role play because I want to ask some questions. And Samuel, you can be the person, because one of the things that we want to share with you guys too is obviously you know how to get people in a conversation like Samuel was just showing you from Facebook and creating these conversations and then creating value. But what do we do after that? How do we get them from there to be able to get them to lock arms with us? We do something called off Facebook. It's called How to Get Off Facebook. Because obviously right now we're off Facebook, aren't we? We're on a Zoom call, but we're not on Facebook. We're off Facebook. Where do we come from? We all came from Facebook. But now we got off of Facebook, and so we want to get people off of Facebook so we can connect. This is what we're doing. We're connecting now. This energy, we're connecting. It's like we're right there, right? You can feel the energy flow. You can kind of hear it. You can feel the sincerity. You can feel the emotion, right? So now we're going to ask questions. So that would be what? It would be a phone call. You get them on your phone call. You could do a Skype call. You could do a Zoom call. You could do a audio messenger call, but you have to get them to hear you talk to them, right? So that's what we're going to do. So, hey, Samuel, I was just learning a bunch of stuff about you, man. That's really cool stuff. Like, I noticed that you like a lot of the same things that I do, and, kind of thanks for, sharing all of that information about my iPhone starts going off because I think it thought I wanted to talk to Siri all of a sudden for some strange reason. So don't ask me. Anyhow, so Samuel, back on script here. So and again, we have modules. We literally teach you, coach you what to say. So you're basically going to be following.
I have my script somewhere over here right now.
Cool. That's awesome, man. I'm just going to just use one of our module scripts. But basically, so what do you do, Samuel? So I'm going to take it like I didn't really learn that much, but I want to repeat what Samuel told me, because now we're actually talking off Facebook. Does that make sense? So we're off Facebook. And so basically, Samuel, so you were saying that you've been doing some affiliate marketing and blah, blah, blah for the last couple of years, and you have kind of a back-end business, whatever it was, network marketing company. So what does that entail?
I was just back in the day, I used to be part of, all these different types of affiliate networks. And, I've just been trying to figure things out, and I haven't really gotten there yet. I haven't really figured anything out right now. And I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. So that's where I'm at right now with my business. I'm just trying to find out what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it? I mean, because I could relate to that. That's exactly how I used to feel too. And so one of the frustrations I had was, how do I break through that? How do I get beyond so that I can learn really the habits and the mindsets of what is making the millionaires the millions and keeping me broke? So, and I'm sure you can relate to that. So basically, are you familiar with the network marketing industry? I mean, like, how long have you been doing it?
Well, I'm a part of it now, so I've been doing it for about a month now.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And what experience are you having?
I'm finding it hard to talk to people, right? Whenever I've been, pitching all these people, and my mentor told me, it was a numbers game, right? Or the leader I was following. So I've been pitching a ton of people, and for some reason, I'm just not making the money that I want to make, the money that I was promised.
Yeah, I've heard that so often. So many people say that, Well, let me ask you this, Samuel. Would you be open to looking at another opportunity that didn't have those types of obstacles?
Well, if it didn't have those obstacles, I may be open to it.
Cool. And kind of tell me a little bit about like what type of income had you been accustomed to before on a monthly
Before
basis?
$2,000 a month, that's where I used to be.
Yeah. And where would you really like to be? I mean, if you could really demand income per month and you could just sort of will how much you want to make, what would your ideal monthly income be?
$10,000. I think that would get me the freedom that I want.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, that's where I was. So really then on a scale of 1 to 10, like where would you say you are? How serious in wanting to get to that 10K a month?
I'm an 11. I want it, man. I'm an 11
And why are you in 11? What would make you be in 11?
because I feel ready. I feel like I've already been in this industry long enough that I should be making at least $10,000 a month because my family deserves it. That's why I'm an 11.
That's almost like 10K more than what you've been averaging in the past. How are you going to use that kind of income? Like you're going to have an extra 10K a month to use. Like, what are you going to use it for?
Well, I'll probably help my mother pay off her debts. Then after that, I'll start taking my sister out more. And I'll also just try building my wealth a little bit because I don't want to be back on the streets again.
That's amazing, man. Those are great goals. I'll tell you. So how soon would you say you feel that you'd be ready to just lock arms with us and throw your hat over the wall? Let's get going.
I'm ready right now.
Awesome, man. Well, here's what I'm going to do, and bam, and from right there, I'm going to just stop, come out of role play. Right there is where it happens, guys. Okay, you get somebody to feel the pain, like he was feeling the pain before, the frustration, not seeing any results, and then you take them down that path where they now can believe they can see themselves actually doing 5, 10, 15, 20, because their mind has to perceive it. Does that make sense? Remember, it's your perception, right? Perspective and perception. What they used to believe was possible, and now what they do believe is possible. And we open that for them. We actually show you how to do this, man, step by step by step.
By the way, I said 10, just so everyone knows, I said 10,000 because I've talked to, out of all the 24 people that I've mentored and I've coached, all 24 of them told me that they want to be making at least $10,000 a month. Raise your hand if that's everyone's goals here. Like, if that's like an immediate goal that would like completely free you right now from anything you're going through, right? So you're gonna be. The reason I said it is because you are gonna be hearing that a lot, almost all the time, right? Because that's most people that would pretty much buy them their freedom, right? Robert Hurt says, "I want 30,000." Me too, Robert. That's what I'm working towards. Still.
There you go. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. So, guys, we have just kind of given you a taste. This is just a taste. It's not even like we're pulling back the curtain, and we're showing you just a taste. If you can imagine what this does, it literally gives you the step-by-step connecting the solution really to getting people to make a change in their life, to do things that you were frustrated before. Now, who here feels that they can do this? Who really believes that if you were given a script, if you were given a blueprint that you just had to follow, all you had to do was just follow and connect the dots, just like Samuel was showing you, just like we were doing this role play. You believe you can do that, right? I mean, there's nothing rocket science about this. It's not, like we're asking you to memorize all these scripts and formulas and okay, that's kind of what I thought.
It's funny when I tell people, how I made $24,000. Like at first they just don't believe me because they're like, that's way too simple. There has to have been some advanced way, like you've had to learn about funnels and paid traffic. When in reality, all I've learned how to do is how to become an effective communicator. Because at the other side of that computer screen, there's a real human being who you're talking to. And if you can effectively communicate with them, right, and you have the right vehicle for them, they'll join you no matter what you're doing, right? And it all starts with a relationship. What we learn is how to build a relationship with people, right? So that's just to add to that, man.
So what we wanted to really touch on now is the value that you get from the Millionaire Mentoring, because Millionaire Mentoring was developed by two multimillionaires, and we have probably close to 20 millionaires who have in their own rights become millionaires with companies that do something very similar to what we do, and they share their blueprint, they share their life success. It's like if you had a book that you published and you wrote that told people how you came from rags to riches, or what your secret formula was that made you get the success that you got. So we have 20 different ones. And I know that you all know this because we live in the digital age and the information age. And of course, back in the Industrial Revolution times, where you had like rotary dial telephones, people had to work like 20-hour days or 15-hour days or 12-hour days to even make a decent amount of money. And there was more laboring, of actual manual laboring that was being done. And people worked on farms. So this is one of the cool things about this paradigm shift that happened with the information age, because we have more millionaires starting out that have never ever thought that they could be millionaires in their 20s. Guys in their 20s, man, just coming out, not even going to college. You got Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and a bunch of guys like that just drop out of college because they're already beyond what college is going to teach them. They connected the dots so quickly. Their ideas were so powerful. And that's what's so cool. We're now leveling the playing field for you guys so that you can have what most people don't have if you do what most people won't do. And that's what we're sharing with you. You might have to get uncomfortable. There may be times when you might have to learn something new. Maybe you're not comfortable talking with somebody like we are on a Zoom call right now. But if you knew that was going to make you 10, 15, 20, 30,000 a month, do you think you could get a little uncomfortable? And see, that's the difference, man. What Samuel's doing and what I'm doing, what we're all seeing here, it's just maybe 6 months ago, I might have felt uncomfortable doing this because I'm like, why do I want to get on a Zoom call? How is that going to, I don't really want to be on a Zoom call because I don't know what to say. And so it isn't that you don't know what to say. Maybe you don't know right this second. What if we give you the blueprint? What if we give you the outline? What if we show you, coach you? All of a sudden, you go from, literally not knowing what to do to now doing it, taking some baby steps even. Take a few baby steps, make 1,000, 3,000, 5,000. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, now you're on your own. You're paddling your own boat, man. Now you can start to see that this thing really works. And pretty soon you have your own team. Right, Samuel? I mean, I started with zero. Samuel and I started with zero, man. I had no list. Samuel had, we started literally.
I mean, it's still so unreal, man. Literally I guess by the end of tomorrow, literally 4 weeks ago, I was still working at a factory, right? And previous to that, I came out of homelessness. So to go from all that to now making my first $24,000, maybe by tomorrow, I'll end it at $30,000, right? It still feels like it's not real because I'm like, what do I even do with all this money? I spend less than $2,000 a month. So I'm here like, I'm still in shock on on how to take it all in. But that's what happens when you surrender. I just surrendered. I chose to be coachable. I chose to stop trying to figure things out. And that changed my life, literally.
That's awesome, man. That's an awesome story. So let's talk a little bit, Samuel, maybe on just the value of what Millionaire Mentoring brings to us, because everybody, everybody comes with their preconceived ideas and sort of their habits from what they've been doing before. Why is Okay, guys, Joe Anthony here. That was recorded by myself and Samuel, and a while back